So one of the last things in this first series that I want to touch on is being okay with being in front of the camera and being okay with making mistakes. A lot of the magic of what goes into this and making things look acceptable is going to come in the editing, so long as you have followed the basic rules that I've laid out for you today. You may get in front of the camera and you just let it fly and everything comes out perfectly. You know, that happens sometimes, especially if it's something you're talking about that you're really passionate about. But for a lot of the times, especially when you're first getting started doing this, you don't like the way you look, you're self-conscious of the way you speak. When you listen back to yourself, you become really hyper-aware of maybe a specific cadence in your voice, the way that you say things or do things or pronounce things. Don't worry about it. Most of the time, it's things that only you notice. People who know you already aren't going to care. They've listened to you speak, you know, for however long they've known you so far. So it's usually things that only you are picking up on. As far as stumbling over your words, that's very easy for me to edit out and post. A lot of the times when I'm doing videos like this, I have to go through a line maybe 10 times before I get it smoothly. And I just edit around that. Something that you should get in the habit of doing is try to speak with a downward inflection at the end of your sentences. Don't really speak like this, you know, end your sentences like this, like something else is coming after what you just said, because it's a lot harder to make a smooth cut like that. If you speak with a downward inflection at the end of almost any sentence you say, it could be the end of that thought. And therefore, if you just leave a space, a pause, stop talking in between your thoughts, I could easily go in there and cut through that and sew it together, and it doesn't look like anything, you know, weird happened or you made a mistake at all. So many people get their content from YouTube nowadays that fast cuts and quick cuts in between, like it's not a big deal anymore. It's like a thing, it's accepted. People don't watch, you know, you express a thought and think, oh, he cut, you know, 5 times in between that. It's just the way things are now, and for the good or for the bad, I like it because it gives me a lot more opportunities to get my thoughts across the way I intend to get them across, instead of fumbling through one long sentence. And then the other thing is, you should try to find different people that may be within your business niche that are currently making content on YouTube or Instagram, and get inspiration from that. You may find that they have a way of shooting things or, you know, doing videos that you never thought of doing before. Opens up your mind to how you could take advantage of that style and run with it. So especially when you're first starting to make content, it's really important to create a plan and try to stick to it as best as you can. I've made the mistake of trying to wing it. A lot of people I've talked to made the same mistake. You think that, you know, I'm not going to plan anything out, I'm just going to film as much as possible, and then we'll see what we have at the end of the day, and that just doesn't work. You end up, at best case scenario, with a pile of unusable footage where nothing really happens. So a worst case scenario is that you just didn't film anything. So planning is paramount. That is something that I can help you do. We'll most likely sit down on a one-on-one call and we'll go over what you have coming up for the week. We'll go over different ideas that I may have that you could film, and we'll just take it from there, and we'll try to come up with a game plan for you and some general concepts that you could plan your content around.